Welcome to Colney Talk Podcast.
Hello again. Welcome. You're listening to Colney Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Alec, with another byte-size podcast. I'll be here talking about Arsenal and Leicester City game, talking about my top three players and the other guys. So about this game, it was a very explosive game. Watching it was just really exciting to see how these players really performed. Lots of goals, probably a few more could have had. But it was a wonderful game all around. So just get right into it. Starting with my top three players, the first guy on the list, Martinelli, a constant threat to Fofana, cutting in and out on the left wing. Nelly possesses a relentless drive that is too much for defenders. He continued with his brilliance, with fine passes and movements with Xhaka and Zinchenko, switching between Xhaka and Jesus, taking on 2-3 defenders as he usually does. It's a norm for him, and his goal was just beautifully crafted, starting with a few dribbles and then a pass from Gabriel Jesus to really have him sweep it right in. And Leicester's defense couldn't really cope with Martinelli, but that's another story. But overall, his performance was just really one to highlight as one of the top three players. Just watching Nelly play, you can just see his movements. It's almost like he's feeding off of Jesus, the way he moves as a number 9, move cutting in and out, switching positions. Nelly just does the same thing, and over time, everyone just couldn't make it so much of a chaos in the boxes, and the defenders trying to know who to track and keep an eye on things, and it's just good to see, at least for the team, the way they continue to move forward. Next up, that there's no more mentioning, Gabriel Jesus there. So he was pretty much the man of the match with 2 goals. Beautiful goal to start with. Jesus just bullied the center backs in the box, dribbling around the edges as well. The front four, they fed off of each other. But the left side, Martinelli and Jesus just had the main imprint on the offense. Another moment was a direct drop off from Ramsdale when he got the ball, and Jesus just controlled it perfectly. Quick turn, the defender just left him, and it was just a 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and he just could have made it a hat trick at this point, but it just couldn't be. But he displayed very nice, good, dominant striker position game. I mean, he did a lot more. Just so many. He could have scored easily 4 goals, not just a hat trick, and we all saw that. There were other chances, but disappointing for him to not have scored or gotten the hat trick. But I'm sure there is time for that and more to come. But overall, it was a well-deserved performance. And then my third guy for my top 3 is Odegaard. He made key passes, helped dictate the tempo of the offense. When the ball came to Odegaard, you could tell that the next release was a pass to Jesus or Saka. The left side was already taken care of with the passes the coordination between Zinchenko and Xhaka. Odegaard, he picked up the ball, from half line at times, or he'll be at the edge of the box and, swinging in between, defenders and just getting himself in little pockets where you wouldn't really see him, and he would just appear there and then swing to another, position where he's threading between, Saka and Gabriel Jesus, or he's trying to make sure that he's still a link between himself and picking up the ball from either Xhaka or Zinchenko or Partey. So this was just very good traits that he had to help control the tempo of the game. He really helped, just dictate how the offense was going to move, really just looking for, Gabriel Jesus every time. Sometimes he would look at him keep him as a decoy, which is something that we're going to see more often, where they would assume the pass is coming for him, and you have Xhaka, our box-to-box midfielder now coming into the box, or you see, obviously, Martinelli coming in to clean things up, and it's so good to see how he's so integral to the offense, and he becomes more of a threat to opponents than Jesus. And it's funny because that's an impossible situation to handle, to have another player besides the main guy up front be the main threat. I mean, usually kind of starts from him anyway, but it's really what you're going to be looking at, who to really try to box out or block out. But that's going to be a tough thing to deal with, but good thing that it's for us, not against us. And the other guy today was Ramsdale, excluding the own goal from Saliba, which we would forgive at this point. He could have done much better to prevent the second goal. I mean, the way he had positioned himself, looking back at that, he seemed like he was about to scoop that ball when it was coming in, or he was really posturing for it to really come to him. Yes, it was a really tight, quick a shot. Credit to Madison for that, but he actually admitted during an interview that he could have done much better. He still has lots of ways to go, and keeping up with his level, because we just don't want to have that question mark, and hopefully he wouldn't have that going forward. But overall, he acknowledged that he needs to do better, knowing that this is something he's going to have to clean up. It's a good thing to hear from him. It's a good thing to see that he's putting the pressure, or at least making himself very accountable. So that's what I like. Overall, again, very great display by the boys, and the fans just continue to raise the level. I mean, this is going to be an ongoing conversation. The way they make the stadium and the environment and the whole atmosphere just a very enjoyable part of the whole experience. And watching and hearing so many people talk about this, including the fans themselves, it's a credit to what has been a good transformation, and long may continue. In fact, I know that most of these other observations that would happen in and around the games will always include the fans. It's not something unique to our team, but it becomes very clear that, the fans have really come on and coming to this season, raising the level of how they're connected to the players and the team in general. And it's always worth mentioning. So I'll wrap up this with, giving the shout out to the fans and in the stadium, and really praising them for what they're doing. Long may that continue, as I mentioned. But that's it for this episode. Join me on the next one as we look forward to Bournemouth. We'll talk about them, what we hope to see the boys display that is similar to this Leicester game, and assuming that they would clean up some of the messes or mistakes that they would always look back at, and hope that they'll perform better. But again, thank you. Been a great run here in this pod. Again, it's been a great time to watch the game. It's a great time to be an Arsenal fan, and looking forward to the next one. And that's it for me. Thank you for listening. See you on the next one. Bye for now.